Hello guys, welcome to Accounting Vidya Shala. This channel particularly deals with the various curriculum related to Bangalore University. So today is the topic redemption of preference share. Even before going ahead, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get the latest updates on the channel. So redemption of preference shares. Before moving ahead with the actual topic, first we have to know the meaning of preference shares. I will explain you with an example. For example, I have a sweet box with me, correct? And there are guests at home, there are children at home, and there are elders at home. So when I have a sweet box with me, I always give more preference to the guests first. After giving sweets to guests will eat the sweets. If anything is remaining, then I will give it to the children. Even after children eating, if something is remaining, then I will give it to the elders of the family. So, whether I eat it, whether I don't eat it as a family member, I will have to give it to guests. Guests are nothing but debenture holders. Correct? Whether I eat it as a family or I don't eat it, I will have to feed the guests. Whether I earn profit or whether I don't earn profit, I will have to give interest to debenture holders. Correct? Now, children. Children enjoy some priority. Correct? Yes or no? Even before the elders eat, children will eat it at home. Correct? So children enjoy that special priority in the house. Correct? That is why children are nothing but preference shareholders. If anything is remaining, then the elders of the house will eat. The elders of the house are nothing but equity shareholders, owners of the organization. Now, these three are the important ways of arranging external finance or external sources of finance to the business. External sources of finance to the business. Debenture holders, instead of taking 100 rupees loan from a bank, I am dividing it into the different number of debentures and taking that 100 rupees loan from the various persons. That is nothing but debenture holders. Whether you earn profit, whether you don't earn profit, you will have to pay the interest. Preference shareholders are those shareholders who enjoy priority in the organization. Every time children are given with the special priority at home, correct? Similarly, preference shareholders enjoy special preference when it comes to payment of dividend and repayment of capital. Equity shareholders, elders, they are the owners of the business. After giving priority to these two people, after paying interest and dividend to these two people, if anything is remaining, then the equity shareholders enjoy. Is that clear? Okay. So what is the meaning of preference shares? Preference shares are those shares who enjoy special rights and priorities in the organization with respect to repayment of capital and payment of dividend. Since it holds the combination of both equity shareholders and debenture holders, preference shareholders are also called as hybrid securities. Is that clear? Okay. Now what is the meaning of redemption? Redemption is nothing but repaying. In simple word, the redemption of preference shares refers to repayment of preference shares to its holders. Am I being clear? So this particular chapter completely deals with accounting format of the redemption of preference shares. This particular chapter belongs to 4th semester advanced corporate accounting under Bangalore University curriculum. So now when I talk about preference shares, there are 6 types of preference shares. So I am bundling them up into 3 different types. The first one is redeemable preference shares. Opposite of redeemable is irredeemable preference shares. Correct? And then the second bundle is cumulative, non-cumulative. The third one, participative or participating and non-participative. Is that clear? Okay. Redeemable shares are those shares which are repaid within the fixed period of time. For example, I will say after 10 years I am going to give back your preference shares. When the 10 years is over, I will have to repay the preference share capital completely to the preference shareholders. So redeemable preference shareholders are those shareholders whose share is being paid back after expiry of a fixed period of time. So now irredeemable, right opposite, it is only paid at the time of liquidation. Irredeemable preference shares are those shares which are repaid only at the time of liquidation. Then cumulative. In comparison with the previous example, if there are no sweets lying, correct, the sweets have got over, what will I say to children? I will say I will buy you a chocolate or a sweet next day. What am I doing? I am promising them to give something tomorrow. Correct? So cumulative preference shares are nothing but if I don't earn profit this year, I will promise them to pay them in the following year. So under cumulative preference shares, the unpaid dividends are carried forward to the next year. So non-cumulative is, it is not carried forward. It means if I don't earn profit, no dividends means no dividend. I will not promise to pay the next year. Am I being clear? And the last one, participative and non-participative. For example, think the company is into liquidation. So when their liquidation means winding up of the company. So when I am winding up the company, I will sell all my assets and pay the liabilities. For example, my asset is 100 rupees and my liability is 80 rupees. There is extra of 20 rupees. Yes or no? That 20 rupees is nothing but surplus. Correct? When preference shareholders have right over surplus, then it is called as participative. When preference shareholders do not have right over that surplus at the time of liquidation, then they are called as non-participative. Hope I am clear with this. So what and all we learned today? We learned the various concepts related to redemption of preference shares. Now what do you mean by preference shares? Preference shares are those shares who enjoy preferential right in the organization when it comes to the repayment of capital and payment of dividend. Is that clear? Since it holds the combination of both equity shares and debentures, it is called as hybrid securities. So the meaning of redemption of preference shares, repaying the preference shares back to its original holders is nothing but redemption of preference shares. So there are various types of preference shares, correct? Which are those various types of preference shares? Redeemable, irredeemable, cumulative, non-cumulative, participative, non-participative. Redeemable, payable after expiry of fixed period of time. Irredeemable, payable only at the time of liquidation. Cumulative, unpaid dividends are carried forwarded to the next year. Here non-cumulative, the unpaid dividends are never carried forward. Participative, when the shareholders enjoy the share in the surplus at the time of liquidation, they are called as participative. When they don't share anything at the time of liquidation in the excess surplus, then they are called as non-participative. So that's all for the day. If you have any doubts, please do comment so that I can clear the doubts in the next video. If you want to hear to the latest updates, please do subscribe Accounting Vidya Shala and support us.